I just don't think I'm a good
My
choice.
my wife thinks you are hot, so that may be an issue for me. But other than that, I like liquid.
Caffeine. I want to talk about it.
What's wrong with caffeine?
What's your normal caffeine intake? Like your routine in the morning? Like, do you drink caffeine in the morning? No, really? Zero?
I don't drink coffee.
Okay, I don't either.
I only started. Oh, hello, my love.
You drink tea though. Clearly.
I only started drinking tea, and it's because Anna and I were very sick at the end of December.
Yeah.
And my throat was hurting worse than it's ever hurt before. So I don't know what was going on, but I had something weird, and I was like, I need something to like soothe this. And we were traveling at the same time, and so we got to a motel after I like wanted to die. I was driving, just like wanting my throat to go away.
Yeah.
And they had like a late night like coffee thing, and Anna was like, you could make tea, and I was like, my mom drinks tea, sure. So now I drink tea a lot.
Caffeinated?
I don't think so. I think I try for the non-caffeinated ones because I don't drink soda. I don't drink energy drinks really. I really only drink water. Now tea and coffee. No, I don't drink coffee at all. I don't know why I just said that. I've never drank coffee. But especially in the morning, I have nothing. I consume nothing but water till like noon.
So
most of the time.
Maggie's concerned about you. So yeah, so here's the thing. I don't drink coffee either. The only type of coffee I actually like, it's very weird and it's very specific, and it's because it's the sugar. It's I get a white mocha latte. It's all sugar. And on the menu at church, it says white mocha latte.
I'm sorry. Time out. The menu at church?
Yeah, we have a cafe at our church.
That's very cool.
I've
never heard of that before.
Yeah, you can volunteer to work during the Sunday morning. It's a good way to volunteer and serve.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah. They have muffins, and
cool.
Every now and then I'll splurge on a peanut butter cookie.
Okay.
But my go-to is usually a bottle of water and then the mocha latte. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked.
You're getting off the point. Yes. What?
So otherwise I don't drink coffee. And I don't love the sugar. I've cut out sugar over the last few years in liquid form. I still enjoy a candy bar like any fat guy. And there's sugar in everything. But when it comes to like, I drink a lot of rum. We know this. And so I was consuming a lot in bourbon, and I don't really mix. I drink my bourbon straight. But I was drinking a lot of like Captain and Coke, and to do that and mix it with regular Coke, it was rough. And I drank a lot of soda working at the theater, so it's just a lot of sugar. I cut that out. It's all diet soda, zero sugar. But my point being, I'm trying to get away. I am also a person that does not need to have breakfast. It's weird because I'm a fat guy. But I was like, I just don't eat breakfast. I don't need it. I don't need it to get through the day. And so usually my morning routine is like a Diet Coke and a bottle of water. And then I just try to drink water at the theater now. But I was finding myself being so tired all day. Like I was talking to you about this the other day. I've been having trouble sleeping. And so I've been trying to cut out caffeine in the evening, which is hard because I like my rum and Coke. But to the point,
ow,
it was hot.
Really hot. I thought it'd be okay. Hurt a lot.
There are these drinks called Celsius.
Oh God, Tim, no.
Okay, so you know about them.
Yes.
200 grams of caffeine, milligrams, grams would be a lot,
Yeah,
milligrams of
Jesus.
200 milligrams of caffeine. It's 40 milligrams more than a Monster.
I think you could just pour sugar into that can, and 200 grams wouldn't fill it up.
Yeah. But the thing is like I checked, a Monster energy drink is like 300 calories.
Yeah.
The sugar is insane. These are
Yeah.
very low sugar, but high caffeine, and they taste good. And I had one this morning. I've been good all day.
All right. There you go.
So,
Well, it's better than like everything's relative.
correct.
So if you've been drinking soda 3 times a day for the past 5 years or whatever it is, I don't know, and you switch that to something slightly less bad than soda, you're going to feel better regardless.
Yeah.
It's better. So like you could feel even better if you cut all of that out entirely and just did water. You know what I mean? But you can't just jump from A to Z. You gotta go through
I beg to differ. I literally dropped cigarettes and just stopped. You can do it. It sucks.
Well, you had to have a daughter.
Well, I did it. I did it before then.
Oh,
I stopped. My last cigarette was Father's Day 2022.
Okay, let me rephrase. Unless you have the iron will of a Bracala, then you need to hit some steps in between. But yeah, that's why you feel better, is because even though it's not the best thing for you, what you're drinking is better than soda.
It's one day. This started today.
Oh, great. Yeah, see? What? Your body is like, thank you. Been begging you to not keep putting that in here.
Why did you, with the Celsius though? I said it and you said, "Oh God, Tim." Like what?
I feel like I hear it a lot, and it's like a basic like. I just hate.
I had never heard of it before this weekend, and then my dad was drinking one because he has to cut out dairy because and he had to cut it out
because he plays the trombone now.
Yes, and another friend at church was drinking one. I was like, where did these come from? And everyone knows about them, and I, as usual, am last to find out.
Listen, I'm not the person you should go to for health advice, but like as far as the basics go, I think I got it covered. I don't go to the gym very often, but like I try to eat somewhat healthy, and I've never drank soda. Like I've never drank anything other than water, milk, and eventually alcohol. And I don't drink milk anymore either. But
are you 4?
Am I 4? I feel like 4-year-olds drink soda now.
That's rough.
I agree. I don't think they should. I think it's bad. I had an experience when I was younger. Quick story.
Yeah, no. This is good. Yeah.
I thought it was a water at a pizza restaurant.
Vodka?
No, not vodka. It was like Sprite. But when you're expecting water and you get like carbonation, it scars you as a young child. So I was like, ew, I don't like soda. I don't want soda ever again.
That makes sense.
I've just never ordered soda. It saved me so much money when I go out to eat. And I feel it saved me like on the health, because like if I drink a lot of water, and if I mixed in soda, like even half as much water as I drink with soda, I would be like the size of the balloons from Up all together.
That's fair. I love Diet Coke, man. The Diet Coke is so good.
This is still hot. I'm gonna wait.
I've never been a huge tea person though. I've tried it.
I am just getting into it, and let me tell you, it's good.
It's good.
It's water with like some flavoring.
Yeah, Maggie really likes tea. These what are they called, Maggie? Celsius. They have some green tea in them, which I guess is where a lot of the caffeine comes from. I was expecting, I don't like seltzer water. Maggie drinks a lot of like LaCroix, bubbly, like that type of stuff. I'm not a fan. I prefer my water OG Original. So I was expecting them to taste like that, but they taste like juice, carbonated juice, but there's no juice in it. So you don't get all the sugar from the juice. I don't know. I'm into it. If we haven't already though, welcome to round 4.
Yeah, what's up?
This is the podcast. Welcome. Episode 2, Nick. I think episode 1, fabulous success, banger episode. I really liked everything you had to say about the website. If you haven't already, go check out the website. We got a dedicated video from Nick from the podcast just about the website. So if you're interested, lots of cool updates on the brand new TBNT Inc. website. I really liked that if you don't know this at home, Nick is just a little bit of a perfectionist. Not too much, but I really liked
No, I'm not. This tea is 2 degrees too hot.
I really liked it when you started the segment, the Two Birds segment, and you were like, all right, just search TBNT, and you misspelled it. You were like, oh shit. And then you just like I loved it. I love that you left all that in.
It was on Bing. My new computer has Bing as the main thing. That's weird.
That's stupid. That sounds like some Panamanian bullshit.
Tim, what a segue.
Oh,
as you mentioned last week, not every episode is just going to be Tim and I. We are going to have a guest here and there on occasion, and I'm excited to say we have one tonight. As you can probably tell by the episode, I imagine he'll be in the episode title. We're going to invite our first guest on to play a game or two and talk some stuff, and we're going to interview him about some stuff. But please welcome Panama's own Nazario Montenegro.
Yo.
What's up, bud?
Well, here watching some NCAA football, getting pissed, but that's life.
Yeah, I do not mess with the college football.
Me neither. But when the team that Montana played for makes the playoffs, then I'm like, yeah, I was rooting all the time. But they kind of stuck to it.
I want to ask you something, Nazario. Well, first off, you asked us earlier, is this scripted? Should I prepare? No, not at all. Because I'm going to think of random things on the fly. You're very interested in things going on in America now, specifically football.
Yeah.
Politics, I guess, because it concerns you. We'll get into that.
Most of the time, yes.
But
movies.
Is that movies? Yeah, American film. Are you saying that because you like all of these things, you like America more than every other country on the planet, or?
I mean, I'm what people call gringuero, which are the Latin people who like the gringo things. So from
that's a new thing. I didn't know.
I didn't know that. That's great.
If you ask me, like, hey, where do you want to go for vacations? I would probably say, you know what, maybe New York, Las Vegas, Disney World. Some people are like Paris or whatever. I'm not that people. The one
Paris,
place,
Texas.
though, the one place I want to go before I die is Japan, but it is expensive and far.
Epcot.
No. I went to the Epcot Asian Pavilion thing. It was boring.
Are you've got to be trying to hit all the Disney castles, right?
I have gone to only 2, by the way. Like, I was going to go to the California one in 2015, and then here's what happened. My wife and I had already traveled 3 times to Orlando together. I'm the one who took her out of the country. She never traveled before. And we went to Europe for our honeymoon, and we went to Paris, to that Disneyland. So in 2015, I was like, let's put a check mark on California. Good shit. And she's like, I like it. So we made plans with my parents and my sister. We had the whole thing set up. And then she's like, you know what? My family, her family, that never goes anywhere or never does anything together, was setting up an Orlando trip for January 2016. And I'm like, okay, fair. We have gone 3 times with my family, my group. Let's do it this time. I'm going to sacrifice my California trip. We'll go to Orlando, and then we'll go back wherever, So, cool. And
Tim.
What happened was, a couple of months later, after my mom and my parents went on, and my sister went on the trip, she's like, hey, I'm pregnant. And I'm like, wait, what?
Sometime between when I left and when I got back, you impregnated your wife.
And then I'm like, wait, how pregnant? And she says, like, about so many weeks. So I took out my calculator, And I was like, so you're gonna be about 1 month and a half away from giving birth when your family is supposed to go on this Orlando trip. She's like, yep. I was like, so we're not going either to the Orlando trip, right? She's like, yep. And that was it. I missed both trips. I've never been to California, and I blame my kid.
I was gonna say, are you resentful towards your child?
I was about to say you have to be.
I took him to Orlando when he was 2 and when he was 3, and both times I told him, "This is what we can afford for you now. We cannot go to the other one."
Orlando is cheaper. I am genuinely
Relatively speaking, it's because of the distance mainly.
Sure.
For me.
That's fair. That's fair. I am genuinely curious. How did you get into American football? Is that something that like is popular in your country, or is it like
very actually like almost as much as Mexico? But you got to start from the point of we were basically not really, but kind of a colony for a while there. Like you had a base next to the canal. When I was born in 1980. At that point, you still had 20 more years to go with the canal.
Sure.
So there were soldiers, there were American people, and that you had your installations. Like back then, let's say Star Wars, for example, opened a new movie in May. There was a theater inside of the Canal Zone showing that movie in May. The regular Panama theater showed it in July or August, maybe. So we kind of got accustomed that, hey, like the other side of that fence, everything seems to be cooler, like faster, better. You have Popeyes. We didn't have Popeyes. I don't know why. But then you also had a channel. It was called the Southern Command Network, SCN. And since it was an open broadcast, everybody could get it. So if I put Channel 8 on my TV, I got the American content. So that was Saturday morning cartoons, new episodes of Ninja Turtles, and all that good shit. Only that in English. So basically, it was kind of like either you learn to speak it or you're missing the cool cartoons and you have to wait 4 years so we get the crappy dub version.
So, interesting. So is that how you learned to speak English, like through TV or like, wow, that's really cool, man.
I was in kindergarten in '86, and I kept watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Transformers and G.I. Joe on SCN on Saturdays, and my dad was like, "You seem to like that," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't understand shit." And he's like, "Well, maybe if you watch more of it, you will like it better." I was like, "Okay, cool." So he got cable, and back then, cable meant just basically watching other countries' channels. Like if I had cable, I had like ABC, CBS, whatever. It was just a straight signal. There were no cable channels except HBO. That was great.
Scrambled up.
So basically,
starting to see where your colorful language comes from. If that's how you learned to speak English, was through HBO.
Exactly. So basically, I learned by watching several TV shows. I loved MTV and all that crap. And then catastrophe struck in 1993. They made MTV Latino, which was basically a Mexican channel just for cable. Then they made HBO Ole, which was the Latin American version of HBO, and it just kept going from there. So then basically they made all the just channels that had the American content, but either dubbed or subtitled, and always delayed from the original American version. It was never live. Like for all the '90s, when I watched Friends and I watched Seinfeld in the Sony channel, by the way, for some reason that was the Sony channel, it was always about 2 to 3 weeks behind the current releases in the United States. It was better than watching it on locals, but
Was that though, like, I mean, 93, the internet wasn't really like a thing. So it's not like you were getting spoiled in a Facebook group on what was happening. It was just the knowledge of knowing this is a few weeks behind.
Oh, when I figured that out in about 97, I was pissed. Like I got internet around 1996 or 97. I don't remember. But then I could Google stuff and I was like, what the fuck? What are they talking about? I haven't seen this. And it was like 5 episodes ahead. I spoiled myself some twists.
You found out about Ross and Rachel through the internet.
I think actually one of the worst parts was that I never really got into Seinfeld early, so I really got into Seinfeld in around season 7 or 8. So I watched like a really solid season. I'm like, this is great. And then the next thing I know is like, I'm ending the show. And I'm like, what? Why? It's great. It's like, I want to go out on top. And that I just watched the last season of Seinfeld. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I had to go back and watch 7 seasons.
Can
That was
you can you do the rest of the show as Jerry
that
Seinfeld?
was pretty decent.
Go out on top.
I
It's
think
different.
I think the question that Nick and I are both thinking is, can you give us the Panamanian video store experience? Like what? Like did you have Blockbuster?
We did eventually.
Okay.
This is the thing. And remember, it's Latin America.
Yeah.
So the law for copyright and stuff like that is not as strict for you guys because, we don't produce that shit. So if I'm pretty sure, like, if the owner was here of the films, it would be different. But the way I grew up, there was a video club in my neighborhood called Emmy Video. They had Betamax and VHS tapes, and they literally get the one, and they made their own copies to rent out.
That's awesome.
In '95, I distinctly remember because, like I said, by this, like, I don't think we started getting like same day releases for movies until the 2000s. Even Phantom Menace was like 2 months behind, which it wasn't bad. It used to be worse, but around '95, we were all very excited about the Mortal Kombat movie, but we haven't gotten it yet. So I go into the video store, and the guy has fucking Mortal Kombat playing. And I'm like, what the fuck? It's like Scorpion fighting Johnny Cage. And I'm like, dude, how? And he's like, yeah, I just got it. I was like, can you rent that shit to me? And he's like, come back in an hour. And I'm like, why? Because I'm actually recording it right now.
Oh my
God.
God.
He was playing it on the video store TV and had 2 other VHS hooked up.
So he's like, yeah, so that's crazy.
That's hysterical.
So I was like, cool. I went out, I got some food at the fucking Burger King that was like 3 doors down. Came back, got my copy of Mortal Kombat for $1. They used to be $1 in the '90s to rent out movies. Blockbuster showed up. Well, there were actually 2 types of video stores. This is the one closer to my house. My favorite one was called Video El Dorado, and it was, I'd say, about 45 minutes in a bus away from me, but it was like on my way to school because we don't have schools like walk distance here. It's all complicated. So the thing is that in that video store, they were like, first of all, they had like 3 times the movies everybody had for some reason. I don't know. Like most of the video stores, they concentrated on the blockbuster movies, like the popular ones. These people have the random shit. Like they had Man on the Moon. That movie didn't even open here in the theaters. That's the way I saw it, like on them, their video store. And they were like, yeah, what do you want? You can take whatever you want. I'm like, how much is it? It's like, well, it's like $2, but you get to keep it for a week. And also, you pay when you bring it back. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, you don't have to drop anything. Just give us your data, your number, whatever, and your address, and take the movies and bring it back in a week, and then you pay us.
It's kind of like the library. Like, you can take it for free, but if you don't bring it back, like
no, it sounds like you're supposed to pay when you bring it back, regardless. But I'm guessing that Nazario, Wazario, Lazario, and Fazzario all checked out a lot of movies that they didn't bring back.
I did, but I also had my own extra VHS at home.
You made copies yourself.
When I love the movies,
I get that. Like,
yeah,
Nazario and I, like, we have like you said you were born in 1980, so we got a 15-year age difference, but which is, I hope, is disgusting to you, Nazario. I want you to know. But
I'm old as fuck. Yeah,
and Nick is younger than I am. So
by like 2 months. What are we doing? You're like, Nazario and I have a 15-year age difference.
You're younger than me. You and I have a 15-year age difference. You're 15 years old. Look at you. But no, when I was a kid, I did the same fucking thing. And we didn't have a lot of money growing up. And so like when Spider-Man came out on DVD, I would put it in the DVD player, put a VHS in the VHS player, and record the DVD playing. And then I had Spider-Man on VHS. And I watched that shit a billion times, like illegal as fuck. But my parents didn't know. I was just a kid that like figured out like, hey, my sister was recording Friends on VHS. I could do the same thing with a DVD.
You were probably
every time I went on vacation, it was like fucking like a math science test. I was like, okay, I'm gonna set up the VHS. It has to record this day from this time to this time, and then this day and this time and this time. It's gonna run out about here with tape. I'm gonna call my aunt. She's gonna switch the tapes. And it's gonna go record. And when I came back, I had like 3 or 4 tapes stacked up. And my aunt sometimes forgot to change the tapes, so she fucking ruined the thing. But when it worked, it was beautiful. You know, the one thing I wanted to mention about the other rental system, the one you pay when you pick back, I think it was just a kind of a psychological thing too, because when they tell you you can take whatever, you don't have to pay. I took like 4 fucking movies, like 4 or 5 movies.
Yeah.
So when I come back a week later, I'd say like, well, 2 of them sucked and 3 were okay, and I give it back. She's like, it's $10. I'm like, okay. You pay the $10 and you're like, shit, I'm just paying money and I'm getting nothing. I might as well take another 5 since I'm already spending the money. And yeah, it kind of becomes like a loop.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I feel like
I forgot once to return a movie for a month.
Hang on, guys. I gotta pause. Someone's calling me. I really need to get it. So
okay, yeah,
just give me 1 second.
I once forgot to return a movie for a month. I don't even remember what the movie was. And when I went back to the guy, he's like, okay, you owe me a bunch of fucking money. And I'm like, cool. I know these are stolen. What do you want to do? He's like, give me $5. I'm like, okay, I'll give you $5.
Oh my God. That's crazy. The thing that I think you and me and Mike talked about a long time ago, which I'm sure you've had this conversation with many people, but the concept of the video store, right? Like, was so formative for like I think a lot of people. Like obviously you and Mike, it was very formative for you guys. You've kind of made.
I think we both worked eventually at a video store.
See, I never did. I applied actually in high school, and my senior year of high school, I applied for the video store. But at that time, it was a family video, and that store actually closed maybe 2 years later. So I'm glad I didn't end up doing it. Like the working at the theater ended up being the right path, but it's the concept of the video store, of like going in there and just like looking at things. Like I was always very like, what are the new releases? Like what's new that's coming out? That's always been my thing. And like, if you look at my letterbox, you can clearly see that I'm obviously way more into the new stuff. But when you did find something that was like 10, 15 years older than you are, that you never knew existed, that was just like something totally crazy, random. Like I vividly remember being like 12. There's Nick. I vividly remember being like 12 and finding Texas Chainsaw Massacre on VHS and being like, "What's this?" And I had just
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I had just gotten into like Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th and stuff.
At 12.
Oh yeah.
Fuck that, man. I got on that shit earlier. Mike too, by the way.
My first R-rated movie was Aliens. I was 10. And so like the Alien and Predator stuff.
When was Aliens? 80 what?
86, 87?
Alien 3 was 90, right?
Yeah, 92, I think.
Yeah. That's the first one I saw in theaters. I was 11 of the Alien movies, I'm saying, not R-rated movies.
The first Alien film I saw in the theaters was AVP Requiem. So yeah. But I vividly remember finding Texas Chainsaw and being like, oh my God, thank you, Blockbuster for giving me this magical gift. And so it truly is like a magical experience. Nick, did you have a video store, or were you not?
We had a Blockbuster. We used to go once a week. That was kind of my reward for like getting good grades or doing good on a test or something like that.
Right?
Yeah, I had to earn it. I didn't get to just write my name and carry it out.
Toys.
I was the fourth child. My parents just said, "You want money to watch a movie? Here's 20. Go buy." And they would just I would right. The Blockbuster was like, I don't know, not even a mile from where I grew up, Maggie. Like, you think it was where Family Video was, where AMRAP is now, from Walters.
I feel like someone should buy Blockbuster, the company, turn it into a streaming service.
There's one. There's only one open store in the world right now, and
that one's closing.
Is it closing?
It's closing. I heard it's
closing.
Why?
They're doing so well.
They made the documentary, and the documentary saves it at the end and everything.
The documentary is very good. But yeah, they did try the streaming service thing a la Netflix. It just didn't work. Because you got to think, like, we are in an age where the market is so competitive. You've got, like, Netflix comes out and does the DVDs thing, and it honestly kind of genius, like the mail-in DVDs and stuff. Everybody and their mom had a DVD player.
We never had that here, by the way. The mail-in thing, that just we skipped that. In
the US, it was everywhere. Everyone had a DVD
I never
player.
partook.
No, I personally didn't either, but like
I was a Redbox.
I'm saying that everyone had a DVD player, so the fact that they did that service. No, we never did, because we just went to Blockbuster, and I was the only one that was interested in movies.
Or I went to Redbox a lot.
This is what happened.
But when Netflix changed to the streaming thing, that was huge. Like, I vividly remember House of Cards like being like an Orange is the New Black. Those were the two that was like, we're producing content, like we're making something new. And it was like, what? And now all of a sudden you've got Paramount Plus, Max, Disney Plus, fucking Peacock. Like, you got all this shit, and all of a sudden it's like, well, cable sounds pretty nice, doesn't it? Because you've got all these fucking streaming services. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I and a lot of other people predicted that a long time ago, that like, you can cut the cable cord, but eventually you're just going to be paying the same amount in all of the streaming services that you're paying for.
It depends. Like, if you really want all of them, if you have enough friends, you can always split it.
True. I think they'll find a way out of that.
They are cracking down on that, like Disney Plus.
Netflix fucked me with that one.
I was sharing Disney with my father-in-law, and because it had my Hulu attached to it too, so you could get all of the Hulu content and Disney Plus on one.
Yeah.
And he messaged me and he said, like, he sent me an image where he opened the app and it just said, it doesn't look like you're in your household.
Yeah, I got that. We had to use a travel code just now for Netflix to watch Squid Game.
For Netflix.
Yep.
Yeah, Netflix,
so they're cracking down too.
Because here's the deal.
The only one that did it here.
It probably says somewhere when you sign up for Netflix and Disney Plus and all these, it probably says, like, I will not give this information to anyone else, but everyone does it anyway. So I imagine they're going to crack down on that. And what's funny is everyone was like, yeah, but no commercials. Name me one streaming service that you don't have to pay extra for no ads right now.
Yeah, now
Does Netflix have that?
Netflix has it. Prime has it. Paramount has it. Like,
Max has it.
Commercials just pop up in the middle of the thing, and I'm like, this is hilarious.
Prime fucked me because I have Amazon Prime because of the shipping. So the video was just an extra thing. And I don't really even get to fully use it because I have an Amazon Prime US account because I buy all my shit there. I ship it to a box in Miami. They bring it to me because Amazon doesn't get here. If you want Amazon locally, like legally locally, you have to go through a cable company, and that sucks. So I get Prime Video, but I can only see Prime Originals and whatever they have included in Prime US using a VPN. Because if I try to buy or rent a movie from Amazon, they say like, whoa, that credit card's not American. So why are you paying that with that? And I'm like, fuck you, man. Like, I need money.
That you actually just reminded me of, you play video games, right? You have a Switch, right?
I have a Switch, and I stopped with the PlayStation at 4 because it was really underused. Like, I don't know, like Nintendo is more of a pick up and play thing, and the other items are fucking complicated.
No, that's fair. So what you just reminded me of, and I was curious if you had any background on it, but there was a whole scandal earlier in 2020. Not scandal. That's a strong word. An issue in early 2024 where, in order to play PlayStation games on your PC, so they started releasing their games like Uncharted, Last of Us, Helldivers 2 was the big one. It's a multiplayer game. In order to play it on PC, when they released it on PC, you had to have a PSN account, a PlayStation Network account. But PlayStation Network isn't a service that is available in every country. So there were tons of countries who just couldn't play the game because they weren't allowed to have a certain account in that country. And I was like, and so I'm like, that just fucking sucks. Like, that you have to sit there and use a fucking VPN to watch fucking Last Christmas starring Henry Golding, the greatest man alive, like on Amazon Prime. That's bullshit.
Honestly, like, I have a VPN, and I had to use it for. I used to have to use it for everything, but a lot of the streamers started like also releasing Latin American versions. But here's the thing: most of them, they don't care where you pay, as long as you pay. So, for example, Netflix, my Netflix I pay not in Panama, I pay it somewhere else because it's cheaper. But the password works with any single version of Netflix. So there is this web page called unogs.com, unogs.com. If you want to watch a movie, Netflix is the biggest streamer of the world. So some countries don't have Max, some countries don't have Disney, some countries don't have other stuff. So what happens is that in those places, they usually sell the movies to Netflix, so they have it. If you go to this website, you put the movie you want to watch, the thing will say it is on Netflix and it is on these countries. So then you can go to your VPN and you say, like, I want to be in that country. And then you open your Netflix and they're like, cool, here's the movie you wanted to watch.
Is this illegal, what you're telling us?
I don't know. I mean, a VPN is legal.
Love you.
Good night, Megan.
Go, Megan. Hall of Famer Megan.
Well, on that, yes, a VPN is legal. But on that note, I would just like to say that we neither condone nor confirm the actions Nazario has said, nor do we suggest it as advice for legal purposes. But Tim, yes, you had a thing?
Yeah, I got distracted by your joke. That was funny. Oh fuck! What was I gonna say? It had everything to do with what Nazario was just saying, and I don't remember. So
it's okay.
We don't have Hulu though, because what happened
Hulu
is
sucks.
that Disney since Disney bought the rights for all the Fox content in Latin America, which was a lot. They invented another thing called Star Plus.
Star Plus, yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah. And then you had to pay Disney and Star Plus just like you had to pay Hulu and Disney. And since they decided to mix them up there, they decided to mix it up here. So now I have something called Disney Plus Premium, which includes all the shit that was in Star Plus. But it's really funny.
Basically what I have. It's Disney Plus Premium, but it includes Hulu.
It is very funny to just open up like Disney Plus. They have the castle and shit, and the first thing you see is like the alien or the Predator, like all bloody and shit. Like you film.
That's weird.
I remember what my question was, Nazario. So, something we do at my theater is 1 or 2 showtimes a week. We program open caption, so the subtitles are on screen.
Nice.
And then we also program twice a week Spanish subtitles. English speaking Spanish.
Where do you live?
Wisconsin.
Where all the Spanish people are.
I get that in Mexico and California.
The city that I live, the city that my theater is in, has a very, very large Hispanic community.
Yes, because they were all like, "Let's go to America. Where should we go?"
Wisconsin.
I
don't know why, but like I have like 6 or 7 Hispanic employees out of the 25 employees I have.
And I thought you were gonna say 6 or 7 Hispanic people that live in my town.
No. But my question was going to be, so you go to the movies all the time. I think before you were here, you went to go see a movie tonight, right? Like first
Moana 2, finally.
Moana 2, nice. So is when you go to see a movie, is it Spanish spoken, or like what does that look like, the movie theater experience for you?
When I started watching theaters in the 80s, up until 2002 or so, I would say it's like it was 99% English original language with subtitles in Spanish. The only thing that came dubbed was the cartoons, like Disney movies and shit like that. Those were dubbed,
So
and
you
they were dubbed in
saw
Mexico.
so you saw Fellowship and Two Towers English spoken, but Return of the King dubbed. Nice.
No, I saw them all in English because even then it was. But I kind of blame the Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings era. Like when those movies started dropping, people were like, "Ah, I want to watch it, but my kid cannot read. He's too slow reading. He's in second grade or third grade." So they were like, "Well, maybe we should fucking dub him." So they started bringing live action movies dubbed. They didn't used to do that before, and then it just kept going. Like then came Narnia, and then came fucking Marvel and superhero movies, and the kids wanted to see their Batman and their fucking Spider-Man in Spanish. So all of those movies started coming, but it was more like 80% English, 20% dub.
Okay.
And then when the piracy became more like an internet thing, people started like downloading illegal cam copies of movies,
Yeah, I remember when that was going on.
and they started burning them on CDs. But since they wanted to sell them easily, they actually did it from like the Spanish copies, which is weird because they always had that thick Spanish accent, and it's a completely different dub, by the way. Like our movies get dubbed in Mexico, Spanish people dub their own movies, so there's like two Spanish dubs. Actually, if you go to Disney Plus and whatever, you can see one says Spanish Latin America and the other says Spanish Spain. So
Interesting.
the more that became a thing, people started getting lazy. Nobody wanted to read. So theaters started bringing more and more movies dubbed. Like at some point, they were like, John Wick is dubbed. I was like, why do you need John Wick to be dubbed? You can fucking read. And it's become to the point now that it's the complete opposite of what it was. Like right now, when movies open, if it's a big enough movie, it's 50-50. Like you can get 50% subtitles and 50% dub. If it's a cartoon, you are lucky if you get one or maybe two theaters English. Everything else is dub.
What
Like
do you prefer?
I prefer English. I prefer the original language. It's like I'm not gonna watch fucking Amores Perros dubbed in English, or even if I don't understand, even if I don't understand shit, I watch Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon in Chinese
I was
because
going to
that
say
is.
Parasite. You're not going to turn on Parasite and watch it with the English dub. Yeah, that's fair.
I was in New York in 1999, and
Y2K?
I remember opening a paper. I was going to the movies because that's what I do. I go to the movies wherever I am.
Yeah.
So I ended up watching the Blair Witch Project, by the way. But I opened the fucking newspaper and I'm like, what are they showing? And there was this Roberto Benigni printout, full page on the
Pinocchio?
newspaper. What?
Was it Pinocchio?
No. It was Life is Beautiful.
Oh, Life is
But
Beautiful.
it was a re-release, and it says like, I used to say "Buongiorno, Principessa." Now I say "Good morning, Princess." So it was a giant ad for a dub version of Life is Beautiful in New York, and I'm like, who's watching this shit?
Yeah.
Like, why would you do this? Like all the charm.
Especially in New York, like of all the things you could do,
Yeah.
that's what you choose to
By the
do.
way, the theater I went to was like at the bottom of the Virgin Megastore. I don't think that exists anymore because it was a music CD store. I think those are dead too. But you had to go like 4 levels down, and it was like DVDs and CDs every floor. It was my favorite place on earth.
Sounds
And
magical.
then in the bottom, it was a fucking movie theater in the middle of Times Square. Glorious shit. And then I watched the Blair Witch Project. I left like at 11 p.m. I had to take the subway. I was scared shitless.
Subway is fucked up, dude.
Yeah, no, don't do it. I don't do it.
People get burned
I
alive,
didn't know better.
shot and stabbed in there.
Yeah, I
I
refuse.
didn't know any better, and I had to take it and get off in the Bronx and then walk like 5 blocks to a damn fucking church where we were staying because I went as part of a church group thing that my mom took me, but I didn't go to a single event. Every day I got lost and I went to the city. It was great. I was 18 years old.
Oh, there you go. Cool.
Hey, Nick.
Yes, Tim.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
I kind of want. I have a thing that I want to pose to you and Nazario, but you seem like you want to move on to something else.
We have other things to do, but what is your?
Could you maybe give me 10? All right, Nazario, give me 10. This is a segment we're gonna do. Nick, you want to explain? Give me 10 to Nazario.
Sure, Nazario. Everyone else knows what this is because they've seen the first episode by now. But we are recording this before the first episode releases, so you don't know what this is. This is a segment we call "Gimme 10." Essentially, at any point in time, Tim or I, or maybe a future guest, who knows, can spring upon us the "Gimme 10" segment. Essentially, we have 10 minutes to come up with 10 of whatever that person is thinking about. So last week, Tim and I did "Give Me 10 Unexpected Wrestlers." We had to pick 10. We're not wrestling fans. We had to pick 10 people who we would, if we found out they were going to be in a wrestling match, we might actually watch it. So Tim, what's your "Give Me 10" this week?
So I was thinking about this earlier because I was writing Fanzone debate questions. And so I was thinking about the worst category in the sense that I try not to throw out too many like bad worst questions.
I love those though.
I do too, but someone drafts a category because they want to talk about the good stuff in it more often than not the bad stuff. And then I was thinking about people in the community, and the question I wrote originally was like, who would be the worst like sci-fi icons character to like bring home to meet your parents or like something like that. So I was thinking
the fucking Predator, maybe.
So yeah,
no.
So I was thinking a spin on that.
Okay.
Would be we have to explain this to our families often, the trivia and the stuff of like what we're doing with our time.
I had to explain to my boss once.
My whole work knows because someone
he told me like, well, but you get money for it, right? And I was like, no.
Who would be the best in the opposite, the best 10 people, like the most normal people in the community that you would be able to like bring home to your family and have it be like semi-normal and not like, oh my God, like these people are weird as fuck.
We will not need 10 minutes for this, but I've started.
You don't think so? I think this is harder than you think it is.
Normal people. Matthew
Chen. It is hard to start, like, because I have only met like 3 people in real life.
That's
none of them would. Well, one. No.
Jacoby. I've met Jacoby in real life.
I'll give you Jacoby. I'll give you Jacoby.
I mean, of the 3 people I've met.
Sorry, we all have to agree. So if you don't think Jacoby's a good idea.
Yeah, Jacoby's cool. I don't think that guy. I mean, he's like freakishly large, but other than that, like,
is he tall?
Is he?
Who would be tall? Idiots.
How tall is he?
But
he's probably like 6'1", 6'2".
Really?
Well, the average height in Latin America is like 5'8". I'm like 5'9".
Hey, you
and they called me like, you're a little tall.
That's awesome. See, I came up with this, and I don't even really have any like
Jack Pinchuk.
No.
Hothead.
Absolutely not. My parents. Yes, my parents would be like, why are you associating with this kind of
I'm going to clarify because that gut reaction was exactly because of what Tim said, because I really like Jack.
I do too.
Like,
good kid.
He's a fun guy, but yeah, I have been in situations where he's literally like, give me 5 minutes because I'm finishing something. And then he shows up and he's high. I'm like, okay, I know what you're doing.
Drinking a glass of milk.
I would
Oh.
I would put on the table Mike Hanley because that is a crazy motherfucker that is my speed, and I
That's
like
why I would say no.
That's why I can't. Like, I love the man, but if I so actually, here's the thing: is like when we talk family, I'm thinking like bring him
Grandma.
home for Christmas. He has nowhere else to go for Thanksgiving, and he needs someplace to go. And
Well, now
Then
I
that's
would,
easy.
will
now
my
I would
fam-
bring anyone.
will my
That's pretty
family
easy.
accept it?
I would say Kelly Meehan.
Oh, duh.
Yes. Yep. Done. Easy. Yep.
She can watch Disney movies with the kids.
Yeah,
Also,
she's
if the circumstances they're out in the cold on Thanksgiving
Well, no,
and
no.
don't have anywhere to go,
Rob,
I'd probably allow Jack in. I'm just saying.
I'm yes, I would too. I'm saying that like it's a large group. It's not just like my parents, like mom and dad. This is my boyfriend, Mike Hanley. I'm saying like there's a large group of people that this person has to interact with over the course of the night.
Okay.
I would like to throw out Nick Tuig.
I would like to throw that back out the window.
Okay, fair. So it can't be the three of us.
I just don't think I'm a good
My
choice.
wife thinks you are hot, so that may be an issue for me. But other than that, I like Nick.
Wait.
So don't go to Nazario's Christmas.
Okay.
I mean, I only see you from like the chest up, but I fucking bet you're like buff and shit. I'm fat.
Oh my god, that 6-pack on that guy.
Motherfucker. No, I cannot deal with that shit. Like she thinks I'm as good as she's gonna get.
We're probably 4 minutes into this, and we have two people.
By the way, I'm not looking at the timer, and I'm not going to look at the timer.
You said this was going to be easy. This is not easy to do.
It could be easy, but we have a story for everyone.
Matt Quayler. That's a lovely person.
Yeah,
I would bring that for sure.
I would. I think that's fair.
Zario's just telling us all his friends that work on his channel,
and they are great fucking people.
I agree.
Yeah. Speaking of Andrew Barr,
I was about to say Andrew James Barr is probably a good pick. Yeah,
agreed.
He's a lovely human being. I once deleted a whole episode of his show from my channel by accident, and he didn't even give me that much shit.
I don't think he would be very talkative, but Albert Werid-Harma, I think, is someone.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Unless you're looking for like a conversationalist.
Either way, because I don't know Albert that much.
Unless you're looking for like a conversationalist, I don't know that he would.
On the same spectrum, I was gonna say Cameron Redshaw.
Okay,
I like Redshaw. Yeah,
I think Redshaw's a good dude, but I don't think he would be much of a conversationalist.
Yeah, he's also one of those younger people that it feels like you can just sit down and have a nice time with without everything being controversial. So that's good.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Where are we on Albert?
I'm pro Albert.
I don't know. I'm 50-50 because
I feel like we're at 2.5 and we need full threes for all these.
So do we skip Albert?
Ooh,
actually no, that one might be tough.
Okay. Thanks
what
for
about
sharing.
Jim Green?
I like Jim Green.
Yeah, I like Jim Green too, but do I want him to be like Nana? I don't know.
I'll say something. He may come off like a lot, but he's one of the truly nicest persons ever. He will go out of his way. He will go out of his fucking way for shit that it's meaningless to anyone but you. Like literally, once I was bitching that the Lego store blocked the address I have for buying things in the United States because Lego does their own distributing all the world, and they just want us to buy it locally and pay like 60% over US prices.
Sure.
But I'm like, fuck this. I buy it on Amazon, but some sets are just exclusive and I cannot get them. And I was bitching to Jim about this. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't know me that much. He's like, he doesn't owe me anything. He's like, send it to my house.
He's a good dude.
What?
I agree. He's a good. Truthfully,
he was like, yeah, I will reship it to you. You just pay me whatever that is. And I did. And he did.
Really good person would have just shipped it for free.
It was fucking great. It was what was it? Was it the Optimus Prime? I don't remember.
I think most of the people we hang out with in this community, I like very much, and I would want to hang out with them. But you've set a very specific criteria of what the night is going to be. I've put Jim down because I agree.
I think Jim's a good call.
I'd like to throw one.
What
out.
are we at? How many do we have?
We have 6. We have 4 to go.
Ooh.
I'd like to throw one out. Liam from Survivor.
Ooh, with the
we didn't get to talk
with the open shirt
with the shirt that you like. Yes, we didn't get to talk about Survivor much, so you two are both out now. But
we still can.
We'll save it for the live show.
Oh, he didn't win. Fuck.
Maybe
it doesn't matter. We can go on for 7 hours. It's fine.
How do you know he didn't win?
Didn't you just say like you're both out? Oh, you meant Tim?
You two. Tim and Nazario.
Oh, you are out.
Yeah, Tim didn't win.
Yeah, I'm out.
But
I feel like I would have, after watching the episode. By the way, I feel like I would have done better on your team.
Yes. Well, one, because you wouldn't have lost twice.
Yeah. No, I'm pro Liam.
Liam is my.
I'm fine with Liam.
Okay, so then we need 3 more.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I was just thinking of Survivor people. Robert Kastner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Family man.
Yep.
I have a show about football, and anybody who's that loyal to the Steelers has to be a solid person.
Okay, so actually, probably Rue.
I'm okay with Rue. Like not.
He's a teacher. Like he can talk to people about anything. Like he can talk to the little kids. He can.
But he voted me out, dude.
Well, okay, yeah, but he's older, so he can mingle with the older people in the groups. He can clearly be friends with people like Nick and I, and he's a teacher, so he's good with young kids, and I believe he's a special needs teacher, so he
spans the gamut. You're right.
Yeah. I think he's an overarching guy.
Yeah,
if we're putting teachers on the table, how about Zach Ford?
I
like Zach.
That's a really good call.
He's a fellow Lego AFOL. We share that fandom, and he has a kid, which is actually pretty
I think we throw both them on, and that's our list, right?
Well, that's our list, but we can make substitutions if we have time left. Legos, we're gonna get back to that because I've recently gotten into. I'm kind of a Lego guy now.
Yeah, good shit. Do I have anything?
But right now we have Jacoby, Kelly, Quaylar, Barr, Redshaw, Jim, Liam, Robert, Amaru, Zach Ford.
Any other women we want to throw onto the
Anna? Are there any more women?
Bridget.
Not Anna.
Maggie.
Oh.
Maggie.
I like Brittany until she betrayed me.
Brittany, what the fuck? Yeah.
I like
until
Brittany
when?
a lot, but she did betray me. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, she left.
Because she
left the video store.
No, I actually kind of figured it out. Like I know what happened. What I think is happened. Can I share a theory really quick?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Thomasines used to manage the video store, and he just decided one day to disappear. And he also had made a compromise with some people that he was going to manage them. So he actually left a lot of people.
Our list is final, but
okay.
Go on.
So what happened is that that weird year where we had no manager, everybody was kind of managing other people. And David Garcia had to manage Brittany in a match against Joe.
Oh, wait.
A match that Joe won. And they didn't challenge a question in the end. And I'm pretty sure if that challenge had gone through, like probably Brittany would have gotten an extra point. Or actually, no, like Joe doesn't get the point, is the thing. And we flip and we keep going, whatever. And David didn't challenge that. And I know for a fact he knew it was wrong. So I think she knew that too. And I think that kind of like it left everybody with a bad taste on their mouth. And after that, yeah. It was not. That is my theory that I talked out with another person for 2 hours. When we were trying to figure
this
out
will be publicized that you have this theory, because that is interesting, because there's a common theory that my wife let me win. So I get it. Like it's not the first time that those types of
probably like she loves you and shit.
we can get into some theories, but our list to wrap up this gimme 10.
Good
We've
shit.
got Jacoby, Kelly Meehan, Matt Cuellar, Barr, Redshaw, Jim, Liam, Robert, Amaru, Zach. We're sexist. We only put one woman on.
And
Michael Campbell as a backup.
Sure.
That's a good call. What was our time?
We finished that conversation at about like, I mean, the 10 minutes is up, so I guess it was 10 minutes.
I think.
You think Maggie let you win?
Yeah, I fully believe that. She's okay. Let me say this: we've been married 6 years. We've been together for 10, going on 11. We know each other pretty well. Like, there's like these like stereotypes that are out there about like married people that are like, you know, your spouse like the back of your hand, like you think the same way. Maggie and I truly are that way. We're not the same person. We disagree on a lot. We dislike things that the other person likes and vice versa. Like, we are different people, but we very much think the same way. And since having the baby, it's amplified even more. So that being said, my analytical looking at the video, watching it, knowing what I know about Maggie, it looks like she let me win. That being said, she swears she didn't, and I tend to believe her. So it's tough. It's hard on that one.
She flopped harder for you than Brett Favre did for Michael Strahan.
That's true. That's true, in my opinion.
Maybe she didn't mean to, but subconsciously, you know.
Nazario, let's flip the script for a second, because not that we're necessarily running out of time. Nick feels constrained. I think he's sleepy. But
he wanted to start later.
Let's talk.
I didn't.
For the record, I wanted to start later, but my wife ended up having to work anyway. So, let's talk about Survivor. So, you
like
were
the show or your show?
Our show.
Virtual. Could weave in the real show if you'd like as well, but
I'll kick it off. This is mainly going to be a conversation for you and Nick because I like to start, and then I'll jump in when it comes to me. But you were in the first 2 episodes. We saw that you got voted out at the end of episode 1, technically, but it was the first 2 weeks. You made it 2 weeks of the show. I kind of want to hear what your thoughts on the experience were. Did you... The vision on the show is that you kind of predicted that there was a possibility that you were going to get voted out. You didn't seem super surprised. I'm curious, is that something that Nick kind of put forth in the editing, or is that true? Is that how you really felt? Like, did you kind of feel like towards the end that's what was going to happen?
It's insane because that is a greatly edited clip. Because this is the thing. I think it's going to be impossible to have a true Survivor experience with this community because the true Survivor experience, nobody knows nobody. And we have been doing this for 8 fucking years. So everybody mostly knows everybody. So it is an unfortunate point to start because either on both teams, there's 3 people who know who you are, know what you've done, know the kind of people or the kind of crazy ass you're going to try to do. And I mean, I knew they knew me. And Cody called it out. And I was like, yeah, I'm too much of a wild card because he's a fucking wild card. And as soon as I knew that I was with Cody, I was like, okay, I have to take him out or he's going to take me out. And we are fucking friends. Like, we have a football show together. He does a TV show for my channel. We hang out. It's all great. I like the guy. But I know also that he's the kind of person that when he shows up in a room, he takes over the room. Some people just have that strong ass fucking will personality. And you can see it in that show. You can see that basically he's taking decisions, running the fucking thing, and you either go with the flow or you chop his head off.
And you weren't the only one that said that in the episode either. There were a few people that said, like,
even
on our team, there were people that were like, he's running the show over there. You can tell. Like, yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if it helped or didn't help Liam to throw a random vote his way, because I'm pretty sure he knew it was him.
You'll find out. Everyone already knows, but you'll find.
Well, the thing is that when you start in that kind of like disadvantaged position, then you have to like figure out what you're gonna do. And I honestly, I didn't want to talk Survivor between weeks, so it's not like I messaged him like, "Hey, you know what? Let's do this fucking shit," which I'm pretty sure they did.
100%. And I told everyone not to, but that's fine.
I'm
It was
pretty
always
sure.
It was
I
always
know
gonna
that Kastner and Amaru and Cody probably were like, "Yeah, we have to take fucking Nazario out whenever we can." And
You should have
I
grabbed Eddie and Liam and been like, guys, I'm with you. They're already against me. Let's do it.
I don't know. I thought like just the fact that we were 4 strong could carry me for like 3 to 4 weeks, and then I would have to do something radical.
sure.
And I said, like, this is what I'm going to do. This is the way it should be. I also wanted to keep a bit of Cody. Keeping them there was strategy because he takes all that attention for both ways, positively and negatively. So when people get pissed at you, you can say like, "Hey, but fucking this guy, and let's fuck vote for this guy." It's something. It's a target that just
Yeah.
screams at you.
Well, and
And
honestly,
yeah,
like I remember I had the unfortunate or fortunate, I guess. I was voted out a week after you, so it's not like it took that much longer. But
That episode's out now, but you haven't seen it yet, Nazario.
but I found
you
out that
finally won something. God damn it.
I found out that you were voted out right away from Nick because I had to know certain things, just like being
Because
part
you
of.
left the group right away. Because people were leaving the group right away.
Oh, that's what happened. Yeah,
Yeah.
and maybe it was that I got more background on it. I don't remember, but I remember feeling very. That was a turning point. The first 2 weeks were fun. This is fun. Oh, Eddie gets voted out. Like, oh, but you getting voted out before Liam, and obviously Paul and Giancarlo couldn't have because we won. But the fact that a person out of a group of, was it 12?
It was 12. Yeah.
In the,
Eight people from the trivia thing, 4
yeah,
people from
that one of us got voted out early was like a whole, okay, this isn't just gonna be the trivia people voting out. Like it was a big moment. It was a
that
And
may or
the
may not have been by
fucking
design.
worst part of it is that I helped Kastner get the
I
fucking idea.
know, dude. Watching that happen,
I didn't know that until I watched the episode. It's insane.
Got my
it's
fucking
gold.
board. We were doing things and everything.
It's gold.
I love that you guessed penis though.
Listen,
Yeah, it was completely a joke.
I
And he's like,
specifically,
2 are correct. I'm like, whoa.
I was only okay because I knew I was putting my 4 buddies from New York at a disadvantage by throwing them in with 8 people that know each other previously.
I have to step away, but you guys keep talking.
I was only okay with doing that if the 8 people I picked I thought might struggle to work together. And I was right. But I still think you should have gathered. I think you should have seen from the beginning that they were against you and tried to get numbers right from the beginning. But say la vie. I will say, even though you went out second, you are in my like top 3 people of this season I would want to see return.
Nice. Eventually, I assume you will have like an all-star thing or whatever. And we can.
I'd probably do second chance before I do all stars.
Nice.
Because I love
Boston Rob for your ass.
By
the way, have you kept up with the real Survivor, or are you just
I have.
completely out?
I do. I watch it all. I said last week that while I don't like it very much, or I like it, but I really don't like a lot of the things that they've done with it. Some Survivor to me is better than no Survivor.
I honestly, I stopped like at 42, I think.
Yeah, that's fair.
Post pandemic, it was just a different thing.
It's bad. It especially 41 and 42. I think are some of the worst 2 seasons they've ever done.
And
Which sucks.
I know some people will think it's mostly because of the idealistic thing. Like people have different ideals and whatever. It's been 24 years, so the show has to change. But it's not even that. It's just people are morons.
Correct. I don't like I don't like how hard the idealistic things are being pushed, but you could take that out of it totally, and I would still tell you I think it's one of the worst couple
it
seasons
used to
they've done.
be like if you have a strong guy that is willing to like go hunting and fishing and whatever and feed you for a month, you're like, we're gonna keep this guy. I mean, we're gonna fucking like cut him off, but right now I want to eat.
Yeah.
But then now it's like this guy's so weird and different because he can do physical things. So let's vote him out right now.
Yeah.
2 days later, it's like, I'm quitting. I'm too hungry. I gotta go. You took out the guy who wants the food bring.
Dude, people are quitting, but also people do not seem as hungry as I think they should be. Like, this is not something I'd be willing to put money on, but like they claim how it's like the hardest seasons ever and how like no food and you got to earn everything, and it just doesn't seem it by the end. And it's just the fact that they tried to sell it as harder when they cut out 2 weeks. I was like, dude, I know why you're cutting out 2 weeks. You have to. But what? Don't BS me. Don't try and convince me that this was like on purpose and you're just trying to
And
make it more exciting.
you know what I'm also missing? Like they used to go to these random different places every year.
Yeah.
And then
It's
they just decided once, like, hey, you know what? Fiji's kind of great. Like,
and Fiji is great, but they start with the same 3 tribes, all in like primary or secondary colors, and it's all cookie cutter, and they have cookie cutter casts. Like they literally cast the same like person from season to season, and the same result happens like every season. It's so like
how many seasons a year do they produce?
2 since the year 2000.
They did 1 in 2000, and then they did 2 every year after.
Yeah.
So they should be up to like 47, right?
Yeah, 47 just ended.
Holy
and it was
shit.
It was one of the better ones of the new era, but again, like the new era is just
like,
on a lower
I
tier.
feel like I recently stopped watching it, and it was 4 seasons ago, 5 seasons ago.
Yeah. Is the does the show live and die by the people they cast, or does it live and die by the editing?
Cast.
No, the cast.
Cast 100%.
Interesting. Okay.
They used to have there's a villain that was on the show early on. His name's Russell. He's like one of the most notorious villains in reality show and reality TV history.
Does he look like a douche if I Google him?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, very much. But he plays the part well.
The guy played 2 seasons in a row.
Yes.
And he just had people eating out of his hand. It was weird.
But he
kind of looks like Paul.
That's Russell.
No.
That's Russell.
But I see why you'd say that. But no. He has a YouTube channel, and I watched it when he like first started it because I was like, I used to like this guy on Survivor. Like, let me see what he has to say. And he's just like bad at having a YouTube channel. But in the first thing he said when they fired Len Spielman, who was a casting director, that's when the show started to dip. Len Spielman cast Coach. He cast Russell, Boston Rob, Sandra, Parvati, like all of the best cast people was from this person, and now casting is just taking a dip.
So as someone on the outside who has not watched any of Survivor other than virtual, is it a change in the times? Like, are people that you can get on the show changing? Like, is it as Nazario?
I think it's
gone woke. Like, what is
the host, Jeff Probst, has become the executive producer. And I am on record, and I will stay on record, that I think Jeff Probst is the greatest host in television show history.
Wow.
And no one else even comes close.
I like the guy from The Amazing Race when I used to watch that too.
Jeff Probst. No one comes close to him as a host. He became an executive producer because he worked on the show for like 10 years. And since that has happened, I've not vibed with all of the ideas that the show has come forward with, and I think a lot of them come from him.
Interesting.
So it's not that the times have changed, it's that Jeff, I think, wants the game to change so badly to be more of a positive thing, but I think that's the wrong mindset.
The show is innately
They had a season called Heroes versus Villains.
Oh, I love that one.
They bring back 20 people, 10 people who were 10 people who were like heroic in their season, who acted with honor and with whatever, and and 10 people who didn't, like Russell was a villain on that season. Jeff Probst has said, we're not casting villains anymore.
That's a problem.
And I'm sitting there like, but then the worst part is they still try to pretend like the show is a microcosm of society. And it's like, if you are handpicking the best people from society, that's no longer a microcosm of society.
Yeah.
So it's just annoying because now when people get voted out, and the game has become kind of bigger as a game than it has as like with feelings, mostly because I don't think it's as hard because the days are shorter. But
at some point they need to like up that price too.
Yeah, that's at some point. But also, I don't think
right now. Fucking Mr.
$1 million
giving out $1 million every episode.
It's been $1 million since the beginning, except for one season. It was $2 million because it was all winners who returned. But
that was 40, right?
That was 40. That's where things stopped. But
I need 30 seconds to go pee. I'll be right back.
Do it up. I'll keep ranting about Survivor.
Yes, please.
So he said that they sort of handpicked people from like, and now when people get voted out, they congratulate everyone on voting them out. Like people get voted out and they'll be like, "Oh, good job, guys! You really like I didn't see that coming. Well done." And I'm like, can we go back to the time where people would actually get mad at you when you took away their shot for $1 million?
I want to interject a little bit in the sense that
sure,
I am not a reality television type of guy. The most reality television I ever watched was when my sisters watched America's Next Top Model. Or my parents used to watch Extreme Home Makeover. But I like game shows, so like that's why like this interests me. But it's total tangent weird thing, but I was at the dentist having some work done, and on the TV above me, open captioned, was like some sort of cooking competition show.
Okay.
And it was what you just talked about. I didn't know these people. It was clearly like towards the end of the season. Like there were only like 4 or 5 people left.
Mm-hmm.
And that was what interested me, was like one of the girls that was in the running was like, he cheated. He used an oyster that was caught from like, it was just drama. I'm like, that's what's interesting.
Yes.
So if at the end you're congratulating people for voting you off, and like,
and the worst part is you do not get cast unless you have a sob story, which like can become kind of, but like it, like literally, especially in season 41 and 42, they take like 5 minutes to do flashbacks to people's childhood pictures. And they're like, my mom died when I was a kid. And another person's like, I had a hard life. And I'm like, if everyone has a sob story, I don't really care about the sob stories.
Yeah.
Especially when you present them to me in the first episode and try to be like, hey, like this person because look at all the hard things they've gone through. It's like, no, I want to learn who they are as a player. And then in episode 8, if you want to like spring on me like, hey, this person you've been following, they've actually had a hard life. Maybe that'll mean a little bit more. But they don't cast people who have just like not that having a sob story means you haven't succeeded. But Russell,
they're not casting the people who are
Russell owned like had earned like $2 million from his company. He was a millionaire. He was kind of a jerk and had no sob story.
Dude, like some of the most memorable people are fucking dicks. Like the first winner, Richard Hatch.
Mm-hmm.
The man was like a really terrible human person, and he was great. And you know what he did? He got 2 people. This is the first Survivor, so like they were setting up things, trying shit out for the first time, and he's like, he gets like an old Navy. By the way, he's gay. He was openly
Richard
gay.
Hatch is gay.
And then he goes to like this old Marine guy, Navy guy, and he's
a former Navy SEAL who's like in his 80s.
Like, and the guy obviously like, what the fuck, homosexuals? And he was like, hey, you know what? If you and I stick together and we just trust each other, we can make it really fun. And he goes to Sue. So what was Sue, like a bus driver or something?
I forget what her job was, but she was a crazy.
She was like these people. And he's like, you know, we have a group of 3. If we just really, really follow each other and trust each other and vote everybody else out, we have a small majority.
He invented the idea of alliances in the first season. No one knew what the game was, so like no one knew how to vote people out. There's a guy who votes people out based on alphabetical. He's like, oh, I'm just going to vote the next letter out of the like whoever's got the next name.
What the fuck is that?
And there are other people that are like, it's immoral to have like alliances. Like you should just vote for who you think doesn't deserve it the most. And most people followed along. And Richard Hatch and his four
and the
were
guy
like,
fucking won. Like the guy won like one challenge the whole show, and he won the money. And then they bring him back for the first All Stars they do, and everybody's like, "Fucking Richard Hatch, man, he didn't deserve it," and whatever. So when the guy figured out, like, you know what, I really don't have a shot here. You know what he did? He got naked.
Well, he was naked all the time on the first one.
And he said, I'm going to make everybody else as uncomfortable as possible while I'm here. And I'm going to have fun with it. So he literally played challenges naked. Like he actually lost like whatever relationship he had with Sue because he started rubbing his dick on her in the middle of a challenge so she would lose because the guy was a dick. But hey, guess what? I remember Richard Hatch.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a very controversial.
I was going to say the other one that I fuck. Now, and this is against my point a bit because I kind of forgot his name. I think it was Johnny. How about the guy who
Johnny
lied about
Fairplay?
Johnny Fairplay. The
100%.
guy, they got their fucking family reunion, and he got to that point, and you know, like you have to choose who gets it.
So Tim, they eventually, when you're earlier, they don't do this anymore. But when you were on the island for like 3 weeks or so, they do the loved ones challenge where they bring a loved one, like your mom, your sister, your wife, out on the island, and you've been without them for 3 weeks. And if you win a challenge, you get to like spend time with them.
But you have to win a challenge. And then sometimes when you win the challenge, they said like, well, you can bring 2 more people with it, and everybody breaks down. Everybody cries like, pick me, I need to see my family. Dude, when I was 18 years old, I had to go for a month to the fucking jungle to be like a church because that's something required from the Catholic school I was. When my dad went to visit, I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing here? I'm having fun. Get out. But like people are fucking breaking down because they haven't seen their parents in like 2 weeks or whatever. And then this guy, he just goes to the winner and he's like, oh my God, this means my grandma's dead. And they're like, why? Because my grandma was supposed to come. And the fact that my brother came instead, it means that she didn't survive the sickness she had. So she has to be dead because she was the person meant to be here. It's somebody else.
And his friend who's there is like tells him, yeah, she died, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And he like starts crying. And then because of that, the challenge was basically you get to vote for who wins. Like the challenge is like you give strikes to people and they walk off a plank. So no one picked him. They were all like, he should get to see his friend since his grandma died.
More news about what happened to his grandma.
And he wins. And they're like, thank you. And he's like, thank you guys. Like, this means so much. And then the music changes to something like kind of funny and goofy. And it's him and his friend walking on the beach. And he goes, my grandma is home watching Jerry Springer right now. And it was like one of the biggest moments in reality TV history. They were like, holy crap, this guy lied about his grandma dying.
That's crazy.
The show really hasn't had great moments like that. I want to say for the past like 20 seasons, maybe.
Wow, 10 years.
Like I think it peaked when Boston Rob won, and then they did the bit. I don't know if it was right after. I think Boston Rob was after Heroes versus Villains, right? Because they had to evacuate him.
So the show hasn't had great moments like that in 10 years. Why do you keep watching?
I stopped.
It's because it's just interesting watching, like, and I love the game, quite frankly. I love seeing what I would do in this situation, who I would try to work with.
That's why
that's all very interesting.
As long as I did,
dude, it's like I don't know. I used to love. My wife hates reality TV, by the way, but like I think Survivor is the one I lasted the longest. The only one she liked to watch with me was Amazing Race, but I don't know why it just either kind of stopped giving on schedule or the game changed enough. I got to a point where we just got like, okay, we don't want to keep watching this. And I used to be a huge fan of Big Brother. Like I jumped in Big Brother around season 8, and I kept watching until like 2021. And then one day it was Big Brother time, and I just didn't feel like it. I don't know why. It just happens at some point. You're like, okay, this is just the same thing over and over again. It's the. Do you guys watch Big Brother?
I
Well,
used to.
what I was gonna say was there's good news though, Nazario. We're doing virtual Big Brother. It's it's coming
What
next
was that
year.
guy? I think it was like Abraham something, the one with the large beard like this.
Sure.
You know who I'm talking about?
Not really,
Sounds
but
like a great Amish man.
Dude, like that guy play his fucking heart out 2 seasons in a row. Like he got second place in the one, and they were like, "Fuck, this is so unfair that he didn't win." So they brought him immediately back, and then he talked like he was supposed to be like an advisor or whatever, and he talked his way back into the game, and he ended up second again because fucking people like in Survivor refused to vote for the person who actually played the game.
that's part of the
But I
game.
hate
Is
that so
That's-
much.
That's part of everything. Look at the fucking trivia awards we do. That's literally everything. They don't vote. People don't vote for who actually deserves it.
I think we've got a little more on lock now, but
Well, yeah, but
I would
saying,
say
like,
it used to be like that when you would
Yes.
just send out random
Sure,
ballots that
messages.
anyone could fill out.
I don't know, man. Like at least Blockbuster Video used to win shit.
Well,
right,
I have a suspicion as to why, but
I
we didn't
think
even get nominated or anything in Melee this year. I don't. You guys did your own thing, right? Or you're
we
gonna
did,
do
yeah.
your own thing.
The awards would have
I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
they would have happened already, but yeah, we in real time we haven't done them yet.
Comeback Team of the Year, Blockbuster Video, or what? Like, do you do that? You don't do a comeback, right?
We don't really do a comeback team because it's hard to keep teams together from season to season. So
I think this is a good transition point. Nick, did you have something else you wanted to talk about?
we'll save it for another episode because we're kind of
Great.
running long. But
Fantastic.
yeah, cool.
This-
That almost kick-started a conversation that I would have gone very deep in, but I think it's best we leave it at rest. Nazario, this has been a pleasure. There were topics I wanted to talk about that we didn't even get to, so we will have to have you back.
Yeah,
Bring me back when you run out of guests. So
see you in
I'm
3
always
weeks.
cool to talk some shit.
This could be again, like we're probably not going to have you next week, but like this could very well be a situation where you got your oh fuck, now I can't think of his name, Indianapolis Colts kicker who has the show on ESPN, Nazario.
Wait, not
Dan
Vinatieri,
Marino?
right?
What?
It's not Vinatieri, right? No.
No. But he has Aaron Rodgers on every week.
Dan Marino?
Pat McAfee.
Yes, Pat McAfee. Yes, he has Rodgers on every week for like 30 minutes to just like talk shit or whatever. And Rodgers is, we could do a whole football thing later. But when Super Bowl time comes, we'll see.
He
Sorry
was
about
hosting the Netflix Raw, by the way. Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Like, that guy's everywhere. Like I turned on Netflix, like first Raw of the year, and he's like in the fucking commentator chair. I'm like, dude,
awesome. I love him.
I love that guy.
Sorry about your 49ers, but I think that Frank the Packers are going to lose this week.
Notre Dame is winning now after being down 10-0. They're up 17-10, so that's good.
There you go. But I could definitely see us having you back. Like Nick said, there was some stuff we wanted to talk to you about. We didn't even talk about like really Fanzone at all. We wanted to talk to you about your upcoming season in Fanzone debate. I just got you set up in a match, so we're gonna get to see that.
I saw that.
Yeah. So we're gonna get to see
that. Legos, the canal, maybe more.
We didn't.
I think you guys are trying to like spark something. Like, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
I mean with the match.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm excited. I'll watch that one backstage. But Nazario, thank you for coming. It's been a pleasure, and we will see you around these parts.
Yeah, thanks, Nazario.
Bye.
All right, well, that's going to do it for today's episode of Round 4. This was episode 2. Wild success, a little bit longer than episode 1, but fantastic. I think one of the things that we talked about last week was if the conversations are flowing, if the conversations are good, we're going to keep it going. And obviously, when it's more than just me and Nick, we can make that happen because we have interesting people here. If you are interested in being on the show, reach out to us. We're not always going to accept that offer, but we will definitely note it.
We'd like to know who's interested.
We would like to know who's interested. So please keep it in mind. But if there are topics that you want us to talk about and discuss, whether it be fandom, Fanzone related, the awards, Survivor, anything going on here or anything in the world, if you want to know Nick's thoughts on the Green Bay Packers season,
don't have them.
He would be able to tell you.
Just did.
Oh, yeah. Oh, great. So, Nick, any final thoughts?
No, good times. The Ninja Turtles must have a very wide array of vocabulary because that man has learned quite a few words in his.
Yeah, they know a lot. They know a lot. And I think Mike Hanley also probably could have taught him the word fuck or something. Who knows? But
that's very true. I don't think it was Leonardo. Dope. Nazario. Pleasure having you. Tim, good to be with you as well. And thank you to all of you. Follow us on social media. Watch these end credits that are about to roll. It has our social media in it. Check it out. And Virtual Survivor, episode 3 should have just dropped yesterday.
Yeah. I was gonna say, so we're about halfway through. We're a little bit under halfway through the Survivor season. Lots of good stuff coming there. Last one standing coming, final or last word. I almost fucked it up. Last word coming. Lots of really good stuff coming up on the channel. So be sure to check it all out. Thank you to Nick, thank you to Nazario, and thank you to Anna and Maggie, who had a little something to do there in the intro. We talked about caffeine. Coffee and stuff. Thank you guys. We'll see you next week with another episode. Bye.